Hello, everyone. This is Tanika Drake, and I am going to share a book with you that I've written called The Gift of Finding God's Love, Guilt and Shame Turned into My Shine. Please check that book out either on Barnes & Noble, or you can find it at Amazon, or any place where you can get that book. Remember, it is not okay for anyone to hurt or harm you. Please check that book out, and happy reading, everyone.
Thank you for tuning into Monday Morning Conversation with Pastor J and T. Drake. Grab your coffee, tea, or milk, and let's talk about the topic for today. Let's get the conversation going.
This is not a drill.
Hey, this is Pastor J along with T. Drake, and welcome to Monday Morning Conversation, where we discuss hot topics of the day, political issues, religious issues, any issue that you can possibly think about. We are on it, and we are starting one of our favorite subject matters, which is cuffing season. And last week we did Netflix and chill, but you know what? Let me stop being rude. We have a guest with us today, Alfreda Brown. Say hello to Alfreda Brown.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Frida, how are you doing today? And of course,
I'm doing well.
my partner in crime, T. What's going on with you?
I'm doing well, Pastor J. Welcome.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So what we're going to do is last week for cuffing season, we talked about Netflix and chill. This week, T's going to lead us off, and Frida's going to help us just navigate through this. We have kind of like three generations here, with me being the youngest, and nice
try.
Right. So we'll see how this goes today, and we look forward to Frida jumping in and letting us know what her generation is thinking about as far as the cuffing season, and she's going to have a unique perspective on Netflix and chill, and she will help us with our other subjects. So, T, last week we did Netflix and chill. This week we're going to do, what are we going to do this week, actually?
Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about lust and infatuation and love.
Lust.
So I have, go ahead, Pastor J.
Go ahead.
Okay. That sounds good. So I have an article, and we're going to talk about that, and then of course we'll double back and let Miss Frida share about her experience. So the article that I have, it's called Love, Lust, and Infatuation, What's the Difference? And it's by Jan and Claudine Gutierrez, and it was published February 8th, 2022. So I'm going to read a few sections about lust, love, and infatuation because they did do a type of a study, but I'm not going to read the entire thing because it is very lengthy. So the first part we're going to read about is lust, and this is from Dr. Cruz, and they stated, Dr. Cruz answered that lust is when you look at a person and become sexually attracted to them. You can refer to it as that initial spark that you feel when you see someone you like. And then they were going on and they're talking about what lust is driven by. And it says it's driven by stimuli, which may differ from person to person. But in general, scientists have identified that feelings of lust are often different for males and females, where the former often have to be visually aroused, while the latter are typically stimulated by romantic words, images, and themes in the media and in stories they encounter. And so then they go and talk about infatuation. Dr. Cruz referred to infatuation as, defining it as acting on those initial feelings of lust. You know when you're infatuated when you create ways to start being intimate with the person, such as spending more time with them and getting to know them beyond the persona during the first interaction. And then they brought in somebody else to speak on love. So then they were talking about what is love. Love is when you might have known by now that lust and infatuation are all entirely different things. But here, love is the umbrella where both are considered as processes under it. If infatuation is expanding your understanding of the person, love means getting deeper to the core of your significant other. And when you get to the core of that person, things may never seem perfect anymore, and you might even feel like hating the person. And true intimacy entails you to accept whatever it is that you do not like about that person, and to accept that this person is not perfect for you anymore, but you still want to be with that person. So it goes a little further, but I think that's the crux of the lust, infatuation, and love that we can go ahead and have a foundational basis to study.
Okay. So I want to get this straight. What I heard was, so lust, it starts off with pure sexual. Infatuation is a little bit more time. And what was love again? Because I got kind of confused with love.
Well, they were saying love is accepting the person at their core, knowing the person is imperfect, and you really want to spend as much time with them, growing in more intimacy, and not just trying to just get to know them, just to continue on a little bit deeper with the sexual infatuation part. So love is a little bit deeper than that.
Well, we know that. Well, let me ask this question, Frida. Let me ask you this question: do you think that's the order? Do you think that that's the order? Lust, infatuation, then love, or can you have love without the lust and infatuation, and that come later? Because we know that we know that the perfect way, the Bible way, the way that is right by God says love, then infatuation, and lust being the sexual proponent after you fall in love. But we know with the fallen world, lust and infatuation come first. So do you think that you can love and then move into lust and infatuation, or does love dispel lust and infatuation? Because she talked about it being imperfect. What do you think?
I think it starts off with infatuation. The person that I'm thinking about in my mind, we were in middle school, like when we met, and in that level, it was a small middle school too. So that started with infatuation. Like out of all of the boys in the class, he was the one who I thought was the cutest. But at the time, all boys were like, not icky, but those are boys, they different. You know, we didn't really rock with them like that, you know. So it started with an infatuation. I think he's the cutest, or, you know, I like him the most. And after infatuation, then it kind of grew into like, oh, a love, a little puppy love. But as we got older, mind you, I was in like the 6th grade. So as we got older, then it was like more of a lust thing, because I already know who he was. He already knew who I was. And whenever we was feeling it, we would just, you know, get together. And it wasn't long before, yeah, like the lust had kicked in. And so that's kind of like the order that I think it is for me. It was an infatuation, and then a little type of, I got love for, you know, we got love for each other. And then the lusting is adult.
Okay. All right. So okay, Tanika, what about the order you think? Is it that order for you, or do you think that's the order? That with your order, would that be the same as the author, or would it be different?
I think for me, I don't know. I would have to say, for me, what I want it to be would be love, but what some of the relationships I have been in have been lust, infatuation, and then it came to love. So maybe love wasn't even there. Maybe it was just infatuation and lust the entire time. And some of the relationships were just purely based of love, just physicality, because there was nothing else to get to know each other, just based on the physicality, and that was it. So, I mean, I guess it just depended on the guy, but I don't think it ever went really to love for real. It was only lust or infatuation, and mostly it was lust. So
yeah, and I would agree with T, as far as that's concerned. It was infatuation. The way I look at it was, first you look at a person, and then you look at a person sexually, and then you may hope that turns into love. But in cuffing season, The issue is it just stays in that infatuation and lust area where it's all about the sex. It's all about getting someone to be with somebody during cuffing season because of the nature of the season, and everybody is trying to hook up. Everybody's trying to find someone to go to the parties with, the social gatherings with, and love tends to take a backseat to lust and infatuation. I think in America we're oversexed to the point that infatuation and lust is considered normal in the sense of love is not required. Love is not preferred, because when I hear people talk about love, they don't understand what definition of love is. And, you know, we can, and again, we can talk about that. So lust is the sex part. Infatuation leads into the sex part. If you want to put infatuation first as the I like you, like Frida was saying, and then the lust, and then the love, or well, Frida said love, but she talking about puppy love, and we're really discounting the 6th grade love. Well, that ain't love. 6th grade, you don't even know what love is.
Okay. Well, I mean, well, even starting that though, like, as I have cuffed and uncuffed and cuffed and uncuffed, like, a lot over my years. But I started with that one because that's like the most mature, I guess, relationship. And even now, it's dead. I'm not in contact with the guy anymore. But when I was like doing it for sport, definitely, like what you were saying, the love is not really even a thing, because if I'm cuffing to plan to uncuff eventually, I don't want the love, because it makes it too serious. You know, it makes it too I think it just makes it too serious and a lot more difficult to uncuff it when it comes to that time. So when I was, like I said, doing it for sport or for fun, it was like, infatuation and then lust. And then once the infatuation wore off, the lust didn't last long at all. And then once the infatuation wears off, it's like, I have no use for this situationship anymore.
So. Okay, I that's very honest of you, and that's good. Yeah. T, what you got to say about what Frida just said? She said when go ahead.
Well, I think what she said was one of the main points that's very important for cuffing season, and what she said, I have no use for that person anymore.
Right.
That is one of the main reasons that we talk about cuffing season, because it is basically trying to fulfill a fleshly need. And once I have fulfilled my need, or the other person has fulfilled their need, we have no longer use for each other. So you are easily to be bathed with, and then you're easily to be discarded, because there's no longer any use for you. I am done with you, and you're old, you're dirty, it's time to move on. So that really goes into the point of cuffing season, that you are there for that person's initial means to an end. And after that time is gone, you're done, and I'm done with you.
Right. And then what about the, I like what she said for sport. Do you think that what we just stated, the format, both of you just stated very articulately and clearly, do you think men do that to women more than women do that to men? What you guys think? Either one can just chime in. What you think?
I would think.
On the discarding.
Go ahead.
No, on the discarding.
Oh, the discarding. Well, I think it may have changed. Not saying that men don't do it, because men have been doing it for a long time. But I think with the changes now, you're hearing more women acting like, and you hear men saying, you're acting like a whole dude. And women are doing this, saying, well, y'all used to do it to us, we might as well give it back, not knowing that them doing that still puts them in the category of being called all kinds of filthy names regardless, but some of them don't care. And you hear women be called 304s, trying to go out there and get the dudes, get what they can get, screw them, whatever, and get rid of them, because they want to essentially supposedly take their power back with all these things you hear about, the slut walks and all that, thinking they're empowering themselves. And some of these things are not empowering at all, but because they don't want to essentially be messed over, they want to try and mess the guy over first, take it for what all he's worth, and then run if they can. So
okay, Frida, what you think as far as who does it the most?
That's kind of like I guess not a difficult question, but I can't really think of like an easy answer because, for one thing, it was easy. Kind of like not to, for me as a female to go out here and play the game, it was easy. And it wasn't because I was super good at it. It was because the guys was on the same level too, like we did it to each other. Therefore, kind of like no harm, no foul.
So fair exchange is not robbery.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I'm sure it's a couple of times to where, like, the other person didn't want to let go a little bit more than the other, but we both knew, throughout the most of it. For some people it lasted longer than others, but I mean, we both knew that it was really nothing serious because we were just having fun for the season, be that the 3-month season or the 6-month season, a 9-month season, but it was really nothing serious on both ends. And it's like, we do that, you play that little game to where, it could be serious, but you playing. It's like, it could be serious, but you playing. And then it's just like, no, I'm not serious because I know you playing. So,
right.
Yeah, it's like the little cat and mouse thing, but we both really just, I guess, knew what time it was. So as far as who does it more, men or women, I just think that's a people thing, and you're trying your luck. You're trying your luck with the situation and also with the person that you're playing it with.
Well, let me ask you.
And I'm just thankful to God that I was lucky a lot. I didn't. Yeah, I got through a lot of that unscathed. So see, and
that's just where I was leading to. In this situation where you both are people doing this, I think there's an unfair advantage for the men, because the men do get out of these situations pretty much socially unscathed, emotionally unscathed, because of the way they are wired. Because anything that happens in that lust, infatuation mold, and y'all in that mold, you tend to be the one who carries, if something goes wrong, the pain. You know what I'm saying, T? The woman will end up carrying the brunt of the lust infatuation after the time of leaving is departed, because they're in it equally on one level, but they're not in it equally on socially acceptable, psychologically acceptable, emotional well-being level, because of the risk to the female having to, possibly be pregnant, this, that, the other. We have the diseases. And it's even, I found it quite interesting when I talked to some men, even with the sexual transmitted diseases, they tend to not care and play it off when it comes to that, more so than the female. Because even with that, I've watched men get sexual diseases and women have the same thing, but the women is considered, until you kind of say, considered dirty. Considered throwaways at that point. They, even if they the man who gave it to them, he goes on to keep going forward, and she has to deal with the social ramifications, the emotional trauma, and the spiritual trauma from the lust and infatuation with that male. I think what drives most males, T, we talked about this, men want to see something and women want to hear something. And I think with that lust that men have of their eyes, they just want to get satisfied any way that they can. And moving on is no problem. But it's something about a woman who's wired in a way that she thinks that she's being equal with the male in that category. She tends to be the one who gets burned in the end. Because the bottom line is, no man wants to be with a woman who's been with a whole bunch of different men knowingly.
Yeah.
Not to make them their wife.
And that's what I think.
Go ahead.
I just think it's because we got internal sex organs. So it's just like, the act of it is, it's like, yeah, I'm having sex with you, you're having sex with me. Like, we're equal, we're both having sex together. But it's like, nope, it's different for females, yeah, because like you said, the way that we're wired, the way that we're built, It's like, even when we're done, it's like, you can just go wash it off in the sink. We got to do a little bit, to really clean up. Just do a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's because we got internal sex organs. So it's like, even while you out there playing, it's like, yeah, sister girl, you still kind of losing, because just the way that our bodies are made, it's more intimate on our end. Like I said, you could have sex with a dude one time and then carry a seed for 9 months. Like, that's like, that's just the way that we're made. So, and in knowing that that's just the physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's what I'm saying, after you do get up, after being laid down, whether it was good or not, after you get up and you feeling the way that you're feeling in your body, that can lead to your mind going this way or that way, So,
okay.
Yeah, just women are more sensitive anyway, and then our bodies are built different. That makes us more sensitive.
Right. And so, T, in our next segment, we're going to talk about the lust and the love and the sexual orientation that's out here now. I think it's changed in the generations, and we're going to see how that plays into the cuffing season, because now that we have a multitude of sexual orientations, it almost expands the net even wider, depending upon your definition of what you want to do. It's not your mother's 1920 let's go out and just have some sex. It's kind of interesting now, all the things that you can get into that is part of the lust. None of these things that we're talking about is love. Okay, love is the commitment of one to another and sacrificially, again, accepting each other for who each other is, but also respecting who you are and wanting to be with that person in a commitment that, yes, lust and infatuation may be in it, but if the lust leaves, the love and the commitment is still strong enough to sustain the relationship. Because love can, as you both were saying, love can look like love is more sustaining over the long haul than lust and infatuation. As a man, I can actually say that love sustains, where lust and infatuation just dissipates. I mean, you could be in lust for long period of times, and you could label it as love, but it's just you have a good physical and psychological connection with one another. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, and we're going to talk about, T's going to talk about her book, and then we'll be right back. So T, tell us about your book.
Okay, the book that I've written is called The Gift of Finding God's Love, Guilt and Shame Turned into My Shine. You can get that wherever you get your books, and please do not forget, it's never okay to be harmed by anyone. So happy reading, everyone.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Pastor Jay and also Miss Frida, our beautiful guest, and myself, T. Drake. And we were just talking about lust and infatuation and love, and discussing a little bit about how we think about it and our perspective. So here we go again, and we're going to jump right back in. Pastor Jay.
Hey, we're back, and thank you guys for tuning in and staying with us. Please, like, subscribe, and share on your favorite platform of choice. We're on we're on podcasts, and we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, on the Walk of Truth Radio Network, and we're on T's podcast and YouTube page. We're on God's Gift Through His Word. And of course, you heard about her book. So please go buy her book. It's an awesome book, and it will help those that you may have in your family that's in domestic violence situation. So we were talking about lust, love, and infatuation. And last week we talked about Netflix and chill. And Netflix and chill is truly an act of the lust. And Frida has a unique perspective on that. Frida, we were talking earlier today about Netflix and chill. So tell us your experience with Netflix and chill in your generation. What's that about? Because that's something I know what it is now, but that was new to me. Tell me about that for you. Tell me the first time you heard about it. Tell me the first time you were asked to be in it. What was that like? Just tell us what your experience with Netflix and chill.
honestly, okay, I was chilling and stuff even before Netflix came out. So there's that. And so when the term like Netflix and chill initially came out, I had already known, I already knew what it was about. But a lot of the things that pulled me together with the people that I Netflix and chilled with was the bad habits that I had, the smoking and the drinking. We would get together and do that. And enough of that would lead on to sex and things like that. So the experience that I had, though, it was with a person who I knew, me personally. This was someone who I had known for a very, very long time. And it was at his place where I had been, a few times before. And it's always, we take like time breaking the ice because we were on a friendly level. We always catch up, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How your sister doing? Your mama doing? Your family doing? All of that, And at this point, it was like, how your kids doing? How my kid doing? Stuff like that. And so it just took time to break the ice. And we got some food. And then while we're eating, we're going to watch this movie. You get the food, you start the movie, you get to smoke, you get to drink. Then, you finish the movie. After you eat, you get the other things in your system while you're watching the movie. And it was a really good movie, to be honest. But the thing about Netflix, though, is just like, I think it's the no commercials. It's that part. It's the no commercials is a good thing. It's like you don't really have any distractions. Like whether you're in the movie or whether you're not in the movie, you don't have that abrupt advertisement that'll just kill the mood. So, towards the end of the...
So let me ask you this. And if you got any questions, Frida, too, Tanika, ask her. The question I want to ask Frida for the people is, did you know going in that it was going to be Netflix and sex, basically?
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay. When did you know that? Beforehand, before you even got there? When did you know that?
I knew that basically when I made the phone call or received the phone call or the text message or the Facebook message or the got in contact.
So the movie,
we kind of hit up in order to make that happen.
Okay. So in other words, you really didn't need the movie. You the purpose was to get together, have sex. The movie was like to clean it up a little bit, to make it more palatable.
I mean, in a way, the movie is the same way with the smoking, with the drink. I mean, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy doing that stuff. I enjoy watching movies. I enjoy smoking and drinking. And so it's like, yeah, let me do it with this cute guy. So we'll see what happens. And we know what's going to happen, but we'll just see how long it takes to happen,
Okay.
And like I say, we were on a friendly level. So, I mean, we knew what the goal was, but I mean, we took our time to get it done. It wasn't like a rush because we were friendly, we enjoyed each other's time.
Okay.
So,
T, you got any questions for Frida?
Yeah, I was going to jump in here. So, Frida, did the person call or text you? And when they did they actually use that terminology? Hey, Frida, you want to Netflix and chill?
No, not really. Well, I mean, kind of. You want to come over? You want to hang out? How much time do you have? Are you busy? Like, what you doing? I'm not doing nothing. Are you not doing nothing? We can do nothing together. While we're here, you could bring this. I already got that. And this is available at the house, too. So we could just get together and, take advantage of all of this.
So I want to get this straight. You said you knew once you got the call, but it sounds like in the call, y'all didn't talk about sex. You talked about getting together, smoking, drinking, and spending time together. But the sex part was not talked about. But you knew that was a part of it.
Yeah, because it wasn't new to us. This is something that we had done before, specifically me and this person.
So that's what I'm saying. Even with knowing what we just said about you being on a female and with the way you're built and all that, if something would have happened, and did you not? Do you not? Do you want to have sex so bad or so strong that you're not thinking about what could go wrong?
Yeah, yep, yep. In the back of your mind, you kind of like weigh the consequences, but then you think, okay, I've been here before and nothing happened. So as long as we do it just like we did the last time, we'll be good.
Right.
You know, it's like something that we've practiced before. So it's not nothing extraordinary initially going into it. It's not nothing extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, you think about those things, but it's like, okay, I know how to play it if this happened or if that happened, you know. That's what you think going into this thing that you think is a regular time.
Oh, okay. And T, do you see? And this is the way my mind is working. When we're in this cuffing season, when we're in this Netflix and chill moment, all things that activate the thinking part of your brain. Let's suppose the blood leaves your brain. Yeah, the blood leaves your brain and goes straight to the bottom part regions of your body, because that could be a highly dangerous way to socialize.
Engage.
Yeah, to engage with each other, you know. Whereas we plan on getting together. We know the code words. We know what's gonna happen. You know, there's no crassness in it. Like, let's just F. It's okay. Let's do these preliminary things that's gonna lead up to it. And I think the preliminary things actually help us make the lust part more acceptable to us, because we just think that it's all about us enjoying. Like Frida said, she enjoyed it. We all enjoy it, you know. But for cuffing season, again, the reason why they call it cuffing season is because in that lust moment, you may be attached to someone for the rest of your life. So that's definitely something to consider as we go forward, that during this season. Now, Free, let me ask you this. When is the first time you heard of cuffing season? And the next question would be, when the first time you heard of cuffing season? Was it with us? Or do you notice that men are more coming on to you during that October 31st to February 14th time? Have you noticed the difference in your emotional feelings towards lust, infatuation, love during this time that we call cuffing season?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like when y'all put it on, I was like, oh, I know what that is. Like, why does this sound familiar? Because yeah, when it starts getting cold, especially like if you dealing with a, I don't know, for lack of better term, like a bummy type person, you know, that's trying to find someplace warm to hang out and somebody heat to be with for an extended amount of time until like hot person summer. So, I mean, yes, I guess, yeah, like a little bit of both. I had heard of cuffings, like this is the season of cuffing, but then when y'all coined it, I was like, yeah, that's definitely really what it is, because people hook up throughout the year for like romances, or like I say, for seasons, but usually in the summer, as in everybody want to be single, everybody want to be hot, but in the wintertime, that's when everybody want to cuddle up and get cozy because it's cold outside. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. T, you have anything to add?
Baby, it's cold outside. That's it.
All right. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back. And we're going to get into this sexual orientation next, and we're going to see that, man, it's like a smorgasbord out there. So we'll be right back. You'll listen to one of our sponsors, which is going to be Walk Truth Radio Network and God's Gift Through His Word. So we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, this is Tanika Drake, and I am going to share a book with you that I've written called The Gift of Finding God's Love, Guilt and Shame Turned into My Shine. Please check that book out either on Barnes & Noble, or you can find it at Amazon, or any place where you can get that book. Remember, it is not okay for anyone to hurt or harm you. Please check that book out, and happy reading, everyone.
Hello, everybody. We're back, and this is Pastor Jay and T. Drake. Hello, T.
Hello, everyone.
And it's Frida. Hey, Frida. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I hope that you guys are enjoying the conversation, and we would love for you to come and be a guest on our show like Frida. So all you would need to do is get in contact with us, and we'll have that information at the end of the show, and it will be in the description box below. So please check us out. Now we're back. We've been talking about lust, love, and infatuation. And one of the things that helps us really get into this lust, and again, we haven't really dealt with the love, but we're more concerned about the lust and infatuation because that's what gets you in trouble. There's T read to me some definitions, not some definitions, some labels that I have never heard of. And so, Frida, since you're the youngest one here, she's gonna read. I want T. I want you to read the word, and
Okay.
Frida, I want you to tell me, have you, as she reads the words, tell me, have you heard of it? Don't tell me what it is. Just tell me, have you heard of it? Do you know what these definitions are? And this is sexual orientation, and I've never heard all of these orientations, but Tanika's gonna read it to us. T, go ahead and tell us sexual orientation, and Frida, you just go ahead and answer the question. I've heard of it, or yes or no. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is our sexual orientation garden variety. So the first one is demisexual.
I have not heard of that.
Okay. The next one is homoflexible.
No, I ain't heard of that either.
The next one is heteroflexible.
No, I don't know nothing about flexible.
Okay. The other one is pansexual.
I have heard of that.
Okay. The next one is questioning.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Then the next one is gray asexual.
No, I've never heard of that.
The next one is reciprosexual.
Never heard of that.
The next one is achiosexual.
No, I've never heard of that.
The next one is asflux.
No, I've never heard of that.
And then the next one is gray romantic.
Nope, never heard of it.
And then another one is demi-romantic.
No, I've never heard of that. This is serious? Okay,
Yeah.
no, I've never heard of that.
We got a few more, then we'll be done. The next one is recipromantic.
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, achioromantic.
Nope, nuh-uh.
And then the last one is aeroflux.
No, ma'am. Nope.
Now,
I don't know.
That's the end.
now, see, I'm just too undone. I'm glad I'm not the only person who don't know what all these terms are, and to me, when I listen to it this time, it's like this just a bunch of so-called educated eggheads just making up stuff to say something, to have something to talk about. Because this just don't make no sense to me now. Again, I'm old school, old fashioned in a lot of ways, but this doesn't make any sense to me. So with the two genders, male and female, we have different sexual orientations. So, Tanika, let's roll with some of the definitions of these things. Let's go.
Okay, so demisexual, it says individuals who don't experience sexual attraction unless they form a strong emotional connection with someone.
Okay.
Then,
all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, let me let that sink in. They don't. So they're not sexually attracted before they are emotionally attracted.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the next definition is for homoflexible. individuals who identify as predominantly homosexual but are open to a heterosexual encounter.
That sounds like bi to me.
See, that's what I was saying.
They have that on there. It's weird because they have that on there, but yeah, that I guess it doesn't play for bisexual. They kind of changed the bisexual definition, but it sounds the same to me. But
I mean, because
I think about percentages. It's like bisexual is 50% straight and 50% gay. So, but with the term that Ms. Tanika just said, it seems like they are 90% gay and only 10% straight. That's a different label because I'm not 50-50.
How do you? Okay, my question would be: see, that's how crazy this is. How do you benchmark 90-10, 50-50? What is the benchmark? Okay, I as a heterosexual male, I have sex with 2 women and 1 man. Does that make it 50-50? Or if I have sexual with 5 women and 1 man, does that make it 90-10? What?
No, because if you're a heterosexual male, you have sex with women 100%.
No, I know that. We know that part, but I'm saying you like 50-50. How do you determine that? 50-50. What's the
I think about it, if I have like a bisexual friend, on one day they will have a boyfriend. Well, 1 year they'll have a boyfriend, and the next year they'll have a girlfriend, and the relationships are just as serious. And then the year after that, they're back to a boyfriend, and then the year after that, it's a girlfriend. Like the men and the women can get it equally. You know, I like men just as much as I like women. Yes, I think that's what defines a bisexual person. They like both sexes equally.
Okay. All right, go ahead with the more.
But if you're homo,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Frida.
But if you're the homo, I don't know the end term. Homo flexible. Yes, you're more flexible. So you're looking at the men. You're looking at the men. You really want men. That the men is what you want. You know, you're homosexual, but that one female or maybe them 2 females at different times could possibly get it. But mostly you're homosexual.
Okay. All right.
But you're not bi because you don't like women that much.
See, that's so confusing. You don't like women that much, but you will that much. What again? These are not quantitative things. You know what you're saying, Frida.
Yeah.
You can't quantitate these things.
Really
It's subjective. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not. There's not a thing that says okay, this, and this. It's like because. Again, it's subjective, like T said. It's subject to each individual how we define these things. Because I thought that bi means that the minute that you say I'm a heterosexual and I want to have sex with, it don't make no difference 1 woman or 10 women. I'm bisexual at that point. But what this definition does is saying one more than the other. And it's like once you want the other, what difference does it make how much you want what you've been doing? I mean, the day that I want to have sex with a man, I move out of heterosexual into bisexual.
Yep.
Regardless of many times I want to do it, but the minute I say, I want to have sex with a guy, I move into bi. But like you said, I guess the definition is more like what you said. We got some more definitions. Go ahead, T.
Well, because we were talking about the bisexual, and I'm going to throw the definition in here that they put. They said for bisexuals, individuals who are sexually attracted to both men and women can also reflect people attracted to multiple genders and gender identities. Although there are not multiple genders, they also can swing with other genders that don't exist, but that's their definition.
Okay, so in other words, so the bisexual is never mind. Go ahead, next. I'm not going to even deal with that. Go ahead, next.
Okay, it's more layers to it.
Yeah, go ahead, T. Go ahead with
so
more
we're going to go
definition.
to the heteroflexible, and it says individuals who identify as predominantly heterosexual but are open to a homosexual encounter. Of course, the reverse of the homoflexible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like the 90-10. I'm mostly straight, but sometimes for somebody, for some one person, I might be gay.
See, go ahead, next. Go ahead.
No, okay, so we spoke about bisexual and all that, but it says pansexual, the individuals who are attracted to people from the full spectrum of sex, gender, and gender identity, which sounds like bisexual again. But anyway, that was that definition. So
because they're giving gender
okay.
identity to
right,
transsexuals. Because I see, this is the weird part about it. There's only two genders, and your gender has nothing to do with sexual orientation. If you think about it, your gender has nothing to do with sexual orientation. If you said there's multiple genders, it's not multiple genders. There's only two genders, male and female. Now all this other stuff are offshoots. You know what I'm saying? Or derailments of male, female, and to call them genders when it's really just lust. It's just lust. It's just perverted lust. And they know it. In their heart, they know it. They know it. Go ahead, T, with some more definitions.
Okay, gray asexual. Individuals on the asexual spectrum who experience sexual and romantic attraction, but only rarely for women.
Oh, for women. So there's a different one for men?
Yeah, that was my question.
I have another one for that one.
And you said they call it. They call it.
Have it anymore.
So. Okay, read that definition.
Okay, can we start over with that one? Yeah, let's start.
Yeah,
you want to hear that one again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, it said gray asexual. Individuals on the asexual spectrum who experience sexual and romantic attraction, but only rarely.
Now, asexual means they don't have sex.
Yeah. What?
Asexual normally is normally in the animal kingdom. Where they reproduce inside themselves.
They can reproduce themselves
without sex. Yeah. So where do we get this asexual? Yeah. Where do we get this asexual in human beings?
So that's not a human, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, what we do is we label a term that's in the animal kingdom, and now we learn. And you say they don't want to have sex with women. Now, is this a man not want to have sex with a woman, or is this a? You see what I'm saying?
No, that was me. No, that was me. I put that in there, so it doesn't matter women. I had something else I had written down. It was body count for women, but it's just but only rarely. So I guess it's for men and women. Whoever's the gray asexual, be it male or female.
Okay. All right. What's the next one?
So gray asexual is like I am asexual, but I have a gray area. Is that what that? Am I hearing that right? Gray asexual?
I guess so.
Oh.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. So the next one is receptor sexual. I'm going to say that. And it says individuals who don't experience sexual attraction to someone until they know that the person is attracted to them.
Okay, well that's called being smart.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that seems like that means something else. Okay.
You're not gonna have sex with somebody until you know that person at least want to have. You know what I'm saying? Is attracted to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that ain't no mystery.
Yeah, it's like some stuff is labeled. Some stuff has a label or a title or is a thing, but it's not even a thing. It's a regular. Yeah, it's normal. Regular stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Who wants to have sex with somebody who don't want to have sex with them? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a rapist or something like, you know what I'm saying?
A rapist. That's what I was going to say. A rapist. Oh, that sounds so bad, but I'm not that. I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah, I didn't soften the term.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, T, with the next one.
Okay, achiosexual, individuals who experience sexual attraction but do not want it to be reciprocated and would be uncomfortable if it were.
So we talking about a person who say it again, who doesn't want it reciprocated.
Okay, it says individuals who experience sexual attraction but do not want it to be reciprocated and would be uncomfortable if it were.
So to me, that's like a form of so in other words, they are attracted, but they don't want the person attracted to them because it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that to me is like a form of, you know, that's like a shy person that likes to flirt.
Yeah, that's why they made it in one word. You see all of them words that you had to use to say that? They just, wow, this is fun.
Because when you flirt.
That seems also like something that's That's not so
dangerous. Well, that's not dangerous because there's no sex. There's no sex involved. So they call it sexual, but there's no sex involved because you're attracted. She said attracted. They didn't say you having sex. Because if you're having sex, you move into one of the other categories, the pan and all that. But this category is you're attracted, but you're not gonna go there. And if you went there,
and you don't want them to go there,
you don't want them to go there. But you want to. To me, now that is infatuation. To me, that's a level of it. That sounds more like infatuation. Like I'm infatuated because you could be infatuated and the person's not infatuated with you. But we're saying the person with the infatuation would be uncomfortable if the person reciprocated back. So you're like a closet. You're like a closet infatuator, but you don't want that person to show you no reciprocation
right,
back.
Like get away from me. I don't want you to really come close.
Don't
like me back.
But I like you, but I don't want you to like me back. What? Let's see. Come on, T. What's the next one?
Wow.
Okay, the next one says ace flux. Individuals whose sexual orientation fluctuates along the spectrum between asexual and sexual.
So sometimes I want to have sex and then sometimes I don't want to have sex.
Or what is it? You want to have sex with yourself sometimes? You want to have sex with other people?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Move on. Next.
Gray romantic. Individuals on the aromantic spectrum who experience romantic attraction but only rarely or weekly.
Oh, that sound like rarely or weekly. See, they saying attract. See, they saying they call it sex attraction. I don't call it sex attraction.
So that's a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, or but he said very rarely or weekly. That sounds like somebody ain't got no game. Go ahead. Next.
Yeah, okay, great. Weekly.
Hold.
Okay, so the other. Go ahead.
That sound like a dude. That sound like a dude named Jeremy. Go ahead. Free to know what I'm talking about.
Oh no, you did not.
No. You don't. Not the Jeremy you thinking of Tanika. Just free to know which Jeremy I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know the one that's affiliated with Frida. Yeah, go ahead. Next, go ahead.
Okay. So this one it says demi-romantic. Individuals who only experience romantic attraction after developing an emotional connection beforehand.
So the emotional connection is first. Yeah, I mean that to me is a normal relationship. You develop.
Kind of like the other one we read earlier.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like you develop a romantic relationship, and then you want to have sex with them. I don't see nothing wrong with that one. Is that? See, read the definition.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I think some of these labels have to come out because like what used to be like regular, I hate to say normal, but yeah, normal, regular, black and white, cut and dry, what used to be that is no longer that. And so people who just have sex with anybody, whether they like this person or not, there's people who I don't have sex with anybody, whether I like them or not. So I'm going to call it this because everybody is doing what is that. So, I'm not doing what is that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to call it this. You know what I mean?
So in other words, we give it a palatable label for perverted sex. That's all we're doing.
Because people are so used to perverted sex and this being that and this being that. Okay, so now we have to have terms for things that aren't perverted or are less perverted, on the scale of this, this.
I think what we're trying to do is make sex in any realm more acceptable, and the word of God is true about this. Men do what's right in their own eyes, and the way thereof is death. It's like we're softening the blow of lust by giving in these technical terms, and it's just you out there, you horny, you gonna do, you might as well have tree sex, whatever the word for tree is, Arbor Day sex. I mean, you have sex with a tree, It's like, oh, that's the term. I'm an Arbor Day sexual person. What? I have sex with trees. Yeah. Well, again, you giving it a nice technical term doesn't mean it's not perverted.
Yeah.
You know, just because you done created a term doesn't mean it's perverted. And I think that's what's wrong in our society today. We spread it too thin to make it insignificant.
Yeah.
See, all these terms now make it insignificant. You think you're making it personal and you think you're making it important, but really with all these different ways you can go, just say you having sex and you have sex with what you want. Why you got to give it a label? You know, one of these little labels, like you're doing that for your ease of benefit because you know it's perverted. You're doing it so you can be comfortable in the perversion, and that's what men do. Men make a way to make it comfortable to do what they do. And again, I'm always say we give you information. We're not telling you what to do. These are just our opinions, and we're basing some of it on the Word of God. But you know, the Word of God to me is clear. It's like we'll make a way to pervert anything. You know. All right, T, go ahead.
Okay, we got 3 more. So which one did we just do? We did dim and romantic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it was
romantic. Did we do that one?
What?
No,
Go
it
ahead.
was like colloquial, something that you sounded.
Go ahead, T.
Okay, so I'll do the recipromantic. It says individuals who don't experience romantic attraction to someone until they know the person is attracted to them. Oh, we just did that one.
Yeah, we did.
That's the one we just did. Yeah.
Okay, achiromantic, did we do that one?
Go ahead.
Okay, that says individuals who may experience romantic attraction but don't want it reciprocated.
We did that one.
Yeah.
This was the achio. And then the other one was aeroflux, individuals whose romantic orientation fluctuates along the spectrum between aromantic and romantic.
Okay.
Aromantic is not, I don't want romance, and romantic is, yes, romance.
I guess.
Move along.
Okay.
Move along.
After reading these, some of these terms started to sound the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They started to sound a lot of the same. So, you just read that, but it wasn't that.
And let me tell you, all these definitions, if you use them in your vocabulary to describe your sexual lust, you are more easily cuffed, because what it is that's just labels for being bait in the water. That's all that label is. All them labels are is just, if you got to do all of that and you feel very prideful in identifying yourself in those categories one way or another, you're just making room to get caught up. You just setting yourself up because some of these things are not actual sex. They're actual emotional, the way you feel emotion. They're not sex. You know, some of them are, but some of them just like, okay, you like somebody and you don't want them to know that you like them. Okay, that goes on all the time. That's no harm, no foul. But when you're out here saying, hey, I'm other than heterosexual, and you begin to think that, okay, homosexual, bisexual, and then you get into all these other things. So with the spectrum, we call it a spectrum. It's just dangerous. It becomes a very dangerous thing, because in these perversions, in these labels, there's a lot of people getting hurt. There's a lot of people getting damaged. There's a lot of people doing this cuffing. There's going to be doing cuffing season, and going to play this roulette wheel of sexual fulfillment and orientation, so-called orientation, and they're going to get hurt. You know, they're going to fall. They're going to fall for this. They're going to pursue their lust desires. And again, out of all of this, the two genders that we have is male and female. And guess who ends up holding the bag with all of this perversion? It's the woman.
The female.
Yeah, she. No matter which way you paint this, she ends up with the short end of the stick. Because these things, if you be honest, they're set up for the male to be able to go out and do anything he want to do. And it's to make her feel comfortable in doing it. It's set up. It's unfairly set up. You know, it's unfairly set up because.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I was just thinking, like, with a lot of this stuff, especially like with the whole, like the transness transgendering thing that is occurring, it's kind of like, you know, women, they're like, yeah, we really be hurt in the relationships, but I mean, sometimes it's like, a lot of this, think like this stuff is for us, because if I'm a woman and I know I'm a woman, that's a thing. Like, that's a term. Like, I'm cisgender. If I'm a woman and I'm cool with being a woman and I don't want to be a man, that's a thing. If I'm a woman and I don't want to be a woman, that's the thing. If I'm a woman and I'm taking hormones to be a man, that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, where do you start? And that's because that's what I'm saying. Like, orientation is like, okay, what is your starting point? Because if I'm a woman and I know I'm a woman and I'm cool with being a woman, okay, so if I'm attracted to women, then I'm a lesbian. If I'm attracted to men, then I'm heterosexual. If I'm attracted to transgender people, that opens up a whole nother thing, because okay, what type of transgender person, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a male and you're okay with being a male, that's a thing. But if you're a male and you want to transition to a woman, that's another thing in your body. So it's I'm going through something personally, and then when I relate to other people, am I, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so with me, it's a label, and then the people that I reach out to, or the people that I have romantic relationships with, or not romantic relationships, that's also a label thing. You know, you have to identify all of that other stuff too after I identify myself, and people have issues with their own identity. Well, I don't want to say issues, but you know, people don't identify with male or female. So that's the starting point. You don't identify as a male or a female, and then you're dating people. I only date people who don't identify as male or female. That's a thing.
Well,
so many things.
Well, it's in the thing, and to that, all I can say is there's only one real thing. The rest of it is a mirage that the world has made up.
Yeah.
It's only one real thing. There's only one real thing. Okay, and the rest of it is just different ways to express your lust. Because in none of these things are we really talking about love. We're talking about lust. We're talking about fulfilling a lustful desire, experimenting, trying to do something different, looking for more ways to satisfy yourself. Because one thing the lust does in its natural state, it wants lust itself. The word lust it's almost uncontrollable. You know, it's uncontrollable. Mm-hmm. You know, it can't be controlled. And once you get bored with that one way you're lusting, your lust says, well, let's find another way to do this. And what we've done is provide like a myriad, like, you know, a mulligan stew. Just reach down and see what you pull up. This time I pulled up some shrimp. Let's expand it. And as we expand it, it becomes more dangerous, because these are, in the bottom line, these are people that's involved in this, and there may be children from this situation. There's family members that's involved. There's all kind of things that as you keep expanding the fact that you can have a good relationship, you also expand the chance of having a very horrible relationship that ends you up with restraining orders, house break-ins, stalking, and all of that. Because once you begin to move beyond the pale of what God has described, you move straight directly into a level of a perversion that is uncontrollable. And we see that in our Western society. You know, we see that in our Western society. It's like America is sex on steroids. You know, you can't watch TV nowadays without some kind of being exposed to other sexual orientations. Our children are being exposed on purpose to other sexual orientations, so these perversions will become normal to them. You know, but the logical conclusion, if these sexual perversions do where sex was really meant to be enjoyed between man and a woman and produce children, if we go with these other sexual perversions where we have men loving men, which way orientation you have, you're not just the fact that the logical conclusion, if you just did the whole population down the road, is everybody die out. It ends.
Yeah.
You know, and that lets it perpetuates itself because that person who decides to be that sexual orientation had to come here through a male and a female. Okay, had to come through here. They had to get here through a male and a female. But again, they decide of their own free will, you know, that they want to enjoy themselves. But the key is they want to be accepted. Okay, they want to be accepted. But my position, and again, y'all can talk about this when I'm done with my statement. Why do I need to know what you want to have sex with? As long as if it's not me trying to have sex with you, I think we shouldn't have to wear our sexual orientation on our sleeves every day. You know, why do we have to do that? Why do I have to be concerned about, you know, your specialty name for your pronoun for the day, depending on how you feel at any given moment? You know, why can't you just be called the name that your parents gave you? Why you have to continue to expand, thinking that expansion makes you special? But if you really think about it, are you more special with the uniqueness of your name and your personality? Does sex define you? Or who your character defines you? And I think right now we spend a lot of time in American society where our sexual orientation is what they're looking at to define us. I mean, you got grown hog-necked men on YouTube talking about they mothers. You know, they mothers, old girls, old gays. I mean, really, and it's like, and they wear these things at their convenience, because if it's convenient for them to flip on their manhood, they do that. But then when they want to flip on that other side, they do that. But they want all the heterosexual people to say, "Oh, it's okay." And I'm gonna say on one level, it is okay. But why do I have to be inundated? And why do I have to affirm it? I'm affirming, if that's what you are, go ahead and be that. But don't shove it down my throat. Don't shove it down my throat because you don't want me to shove what God say down your throat. And then let's not even get in them trying to twist the word of God and make Jesus gay. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Let's not go there. Okay. But the people listening, you know, think about it. I mean, let's be honest. We will create words, phrases, and clauses to make us comfortable to sin. That's just the fallen nature of man. We'll create an excuse. We'll create a label. We'll make what the Bible say. We'll be in the point where we call good evil and evil good, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're making these so-called these sophisticated labels to actually identify one thing: perversion, lust, and infatuation. None of this is love. This is all lust and infatuation. T, you got something?
Yeah, I think while we're talking about all this, because I was just listening, the horizontal mambo should be quietly kept to ourselves. Whatever happens in whomever's bedroom, it has no consequence. It shouldn't have any consequence on anybody, like you were stating. Your orientation, your preference, that's you, that's what you want to do. I don't care either way. If you want to do it, you want to swing from the chandelier and jump in an orgy party, fine. But I don't really want to have to know about your endeavors and your sexual escapades. It's none of my business. And that's the problem for some of what's going on in our world. We're in everybody's bedroom. We have no business being in there. Then you wouldn't be appalled and disgusted because you would keep that quiet. And some of this stuff needs to be quiet. Everybody's trying to come out of the closet, but then they're still scared. And then people that really don't like that, people are ending up dead behind it. This is not when people think they're trying to have this agenda coming out, as much as the gay agenda or whatever the people are saying coming out. There are people out there that are waiting for people to come out of the closet so they can kill them. So it's not very safe at this time, even though people are saying it's accepting. This climate is not very accepting as you look at how everything's going. There are people that are not accepting of that, so trying to force it down someone's throat, people got to be very careful because there's a lot of people that are not okay with it. And I'm not talking just about the Christians, I'm just talking about anybody. And you see all the different horror stories that are happening, people going down into these different bars that have the same sex, and they're going out there murdering people. This stuff is very dangerous, and when you start opening up your bedroom and telling people your orientation, not knowing whom you're speaking to, and then people end up suffering, nobody should die behind that, but we don't understand the world is a very, very dangerous and fallen place, and just sharing that, man, could mean the end of your life as well. So I caution sharing anything to someone who's not close and personal to you, sharing any of that you shouldn't be wanting to share your sexual orientation with nobody should know your business like that. That shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be required on a job application. Why do I need to know on a paper application? So are you homosexual? What's your pronoun? You he, she, her, him, they, or what do you? Why does that matter on an application for a job? That shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do you care what I do in my bedroom before a job application? Am I going to be sleeping with everybody to get the job? I mean, I'm trying to understand, why is that there?
Yeah, why are you stirring up lust on applications? And you think about this. A business person opens a bar. We don't label bars heterosexual bars, but we label bars gay bars. Okay,
Right.
A bar serves drinks and has music. I'm sure in any bar you might have gay people in there. Unbeknownst to you, you might have heterosexual people in there. Why do we have to label it a gay bar? I mean, if you know, why can't you just have a bar? It doesn't make a difference. I mean, the law says it doesn't make a difference who show up if you open to the public. So why do you have to label it a gay bar? Well, it's because you want that, or that is predominantly your clientele. But if I'm out having drinks or something, what difference does it make? I mean, I just think that we spend a lot of time trying to make these caveats for these different sexual orientations, and it's really like you say, it's a very dangerous thing to do, and it's more dangerous during cuffing season because people are taking risks because their lusts are burning so much in them, you know, and it's just a dangerous situation. Okay, now we're gonna briefly talk about, we're gonna get away from all these labels, and we're gonna talk about love. We're gonna finish up with love. So, love, Tanika, what's your definition of love?
My definition of love, I guess I'm going to have to try and do it. I don't think I have enough words to articulate because I'm not really good at it. But I think love is two people that accept each other in all imperfectness on both sides, and loving the person regardless of any mistakes that they've made, and willing to stay and be with them voluntarily, wanting to commit and be submissive to each other. Okay. And just growing together. That's my definition.
Okay. Frida, what's your definition of love?
Yeah, between two heterosexual people. But mutual honor, mutual respect, mutual sacrifice, mutual choosing of that person only, regardless of anything else that goes on. Okay.
And I guess with my definition will encompass all of you guys' definition, and I wouldn't add too much to either one of your definitions. I would just say love is a sacrifice, and it requires a level of commitment that goes beyond the physical into the emotional and the spiritual. And love is one of those things that could never ever be violated, because both parties are willing to submit to each other and look after each other's emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. It takes the caring for one another on a level that surpasses the lust and infatuation. And I think that if we would try in relationships to try to have the friendships and the love before we move into the lust, which I don't think is rarely ever done, it actually will make for a better society, and to make for a better relationship between the two people. You know, sex is fun. Nobody's supposed to hear and deny that. We're grown. But during cuffing season, sex is dangerous, more dangerous because of the season and the opportunities and the things that can happen with each individual if they get cuffed to the wrong person. Well, my last thing, Frida, have you ever been cuffed to the wrong person and couldn't get out of it? And if it was, just can you describe what happened and how did you get out of it?
Thank the Lord, not permanently, but yeah, one time I was into this guy who was also into me, and I found myself really, 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 really liking this guy, but we didn't have the same spiritual beliefs. He was an atheist, and yeah, when I tried to get out of there, I actually got two stories actually, but yeah, thank God neither one of them are permanent. But this is on like a spiritual level. I was cuffed, and I didn't realize how bad I was cuffed until I did try to get out, and I made it out, but it was really scary. Like my body, I had like an anxiety attack trying to uncuff myself from this person, and and it was like on a spiritual level. But I'm thankful that I got through it. You know, the Lord saw me through it, and I was thankful for that. And I have since lost contact with that person. Another uncuffing, I went through a Netflix and chill and almost got pregnant. But I'm thankful, so thankful that the Lord saw me through. But also the guy, we had a friendship. So I'm thankful that he actually respected our friendship and called me to tell me basically to head to Walgreens because there was a problem with the condom. So, like, that's what I said earlier. Like, I'm thankful for, you know, playing the game safely. Like, the Lord kept me safe while I was playing, because yes, it is really, really dangerous. And you think the guy, when I was into the guy that was an atheist, I'm thinking that it's harmless. I knew he was an atheist, but we wasn't doing nothing serious, so it's not that harmful. But over time, and I was like, I really like this guy. This guy seemed to really like we could almost make this work, but we can't, because I'm not gonna do that. And it was tough to get out of that. After I decided that I wasn't gonna do it, it was tough to uncuff myself. And then with the guy, I'm like, this is something that we do all the time. This is regular. This is gonna go as planned because we planned it out. And then the plan went left. So it can be very, very dangerous. And I am thankful personally that out of all of the BS that I was doing, that I am still in one piece and I don't have anything that I'm stuck with for life other than testimonies. I'm thankful that it's nothing else.
All right, T, what about you? You been cuffed to the wrong person before?
Of course. A lot of times. Well, to what Frida was saying, that's wonderful that you left the situation and
got out whole.
You were not harmed.
Yeah, right.
Right. For me, I've had some relationships that left me not whole, and I thank God I'm a living witness today to that. But I was cuffed to a situation prior to my ex-husband where the gentleman left me HIV positive. That I cannot take back. That was from a decision when I made at the age of 19. That kind of cuffing and the person being not forthright, not truthful, and me laying with that person. And then I have now HIV from my youth till now, something that will never go away. A shot can't take it away. Nothing can take it away. So thank God you left your relationship unscathed. Some of us are not so lucky.
Right. And I've been through one in particular that, you know, it reached a restraining order level. You know, it reached it could have got violent on a much home being broken into, that kind of thing, all because I guess it was falling to it wasn't being reciprocated the way they wanted it done, you know. And even though they were informed up front that, you know, this is what, you know, it is what it is. I was playing the game of it is what it is, but it's not that. And they thought through sexual activity they could convince me to move into the realm that they were in. And again, it didn't. You know, it didn't. And then that's when it got dangerous, because at that point, this person, you know, like I said, restraining order, broke into my house and did some other things. Even to this day, they don't really know and understand that I know that they did this. They did this, you know, that they did these things. And it could be a very dangerous situation when you're cuffed to the wrong person, you know. Like I say, Tanika's situation, Yosika's, see, in each of our situations are uniquely different. I'm sure some of the people that's listening have some unique stories. And I think if you've been on the dating scene for any period of time, if you haven't been cuffed to the wrong person, you're blessed. And what we want to do is say, stay the course and don't get cuffed to the wrong person. You know, guard your heart, guard your mind, and specifically guard your body. Because we live in a time now. I grew up in an era where you caught something, you got a shot. Now we live in an era you catch something and your toes may fall off. So, you know, or you may lose your life. You know, it's just that simple. You may lose your life, and because as we're becoming more, seems like we're becoming more used to the different sexual, we're gonna say, orientations. It still just expands the diseases. It expands it. It doesn't control it. Think about this. If men and women would get married and stay faithful, there would be no diseases. Think about it. It wouldn't be no diseases. If we did it good now, as a human society, have we tried it God's way? No. Once the fall came, everything got perverted. And sex is one of the things. But if you think about it, if we kept to God's plan, there would be, if a man would leave his mother and father and cling to his wife, and they become one flesh, and you duplicate that, the oneness of marriage. Sounds a lot safer. Yeah, it would be, you wouldn't have diseases. You have disease because we're perverted. You have disease because the insatiable thing of lust is, and again, we know it's individualistic, and where one person may lust at one level, the other person may lust at another level. Again, hard to quantitate, very subjective, but we know everybody doesn't lust at the same level. And again, someone who has sex with 10 people or one person may look down. One person has, you know, I've seen people try to qualify like, hey, I only have sex with one person at a time. Well, what does that mean? So what are you saying? Well, because I may have sex with multiple people. What makes it one person at a time? A week apart, a day apart, a month apart, 6 months apart. I mean, I've been in a situation where I've heard women say, "Oh, I'm not having sex with anybody." Okay, since last Friday. And the same thing with me.
That was the last time.
Yeah.
That was the last time with that person. I was finding new things, and now I.
Yeah, to make you think, that I'm I guess wholesome. Oh well, you know, I'm not really sexually active right now. But now my question would be, at that time I didn't know to ask, how long is now? You know, is it like yesterday?
Yeah, that's it.
6 months from now, right. 6 months ago. You know, and then you come to find out, shoot, you was with somebody last month. Oh, well, I ain't had nobody in 30 days, so I figured I'm back.
That's what I'm saying. 30 days worth of not doing it.
Yeah, I'm back to being a virgin. Right. I'm back to being a virgin. You know, so I'm worthy to mess with you. And again, and that's the thing that does fascinate me as a person who thinks, is like, sex does drive us so hard, but it gets pleasurable. It can be ooh-ah moments, all that. It can land you in a situation that you just can't, you can't escape it, you know. And I think it's, again, and what I'm going to say is, it's unfair for women because, again, just like men drop the babies and leave, they'll drop one package on you and keep going.
Yep.
You're the one lives in a state of flux until you wrap your mind around it, wondering if you can even get in a relationship, or you can go like me and T was talking about, the evil route. You done been infected. Now you gonna say, I'm gonna go out and infect as many people as I can. He didn't tell me. I'm not gonna tell.
I'm gonna tell them.
I'm not gonna tell them, and I'm gonna go out here. And again, we know just physiology. A woman can have sex all day, all night. A man can't do that. So once a woman gets it, and if she goes on that war path of like, I didn't get told, the man done disappeared, he didn't tell me. Now she like, shoot, I'm going to infect as many people. You know, they used to call her what, the Black Widow. You know, lure these men in. You know, then there's these men who do the same thing. You know, me and T, we talking about that today. You know, guy going around, he trying to infect as many people as he can. And and he's angry. And he's a heterosexual, but he's like, forget that. I'm on whoever I can give it to, male or female. And now he's going around being dangerous. And like I say, cuffing season is very dangerous. And again, if you want to go out here and enjoy your cuffing season, and really, you know what? There's really no such thing. There's no such thing as safe sex. For real, not anymore. There's really no such thing as safe sex. And maybe there wasn't back then, but truly, there is no such thing as safe sex, Frida, because you just told about, you know, malfunctioning condoms, and, you know, anything can malfunction. The pill cannot be the right pill. Instead of taking the one pill, pills all look the same. You think you're taking one pill and you taking a Tic Tac, a sugar pill, and it don't do nothing. There's no such thing as safe sex anymore, because sex has become weaponized. That's one. And two, the perversion of it. You know, God has truly, we're living in a time where God has truly shown us that everything outside of God ends up being perverted in the worst way. And the pure gift of sex is not a gift anymore. It's a curse.
No.
And isn't it how the world does? They'll turn God's gift into a curse. You know, and that's where we live at. So, T, do you have anything else to say this evening? This morning, rather?
Well, I was just going to say what you were talking about, anything that God has made and the enemy like to change it and distort it. It's a very bad distortion of what sex was meant to be, and the intimacy of having relations between a loving relationship, a healthy relationship. And you can just see with all these different types of people going after these different individuals that they were with and trying to get back at them for, it's just very sad. So for me, like you were saying, no more safe sex like it maybe used to be, but people need to really be wise when they're moving to cuffing season. It's like you said, if you want to play the game, be very conscientious of how you're moving and who you're moving with, because you might be left with a package, you might be left with something, or you might be cuffed with someone for the rest of your life unbeknownst to you. The person that I was with, he's long gone, but he left me a gift that keeps on giving. So just be careful, be mindful.
Right. All right, Frida, I figured you got an earful today. We thank you for coming on. Any last words before we end this Monday morning conversation? It's a pretty heavy topic for a Monday morning, but go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. Anything you want to leave for people?
Just thank everybody for listening, and I thank you two for allowing me in on the conversation. It was very insightful, and I'm just glad to be able to participate this time.
Well, we definitely will have you back, and again, if you would like to be a guest on our show, on the panel, We can have multiple people discuss these subjects, and we look forward to talk about many different other subjects other than cuffing season. During cuffing season, T and I have been formulating some other topics that have come up, entitlement for children and this, that, and the other. But you're more than welcome to get in contact with us through our email. You can get in contact with me at witmin@yahoo.com. Or you can send me a message at the Walk of Truth Radio Network on one of the DMs or instant messengers. T, how would they get in contact with you?
You guys can reach me at the email ggphw, the number 18, @gmail.com.
Okay. And again, you can check this out. Check all of our podcasts out on every podcast platform. T, you're better at describing where can we be reached.
Okay, so we can be reached on all the different types of podcast platforms, including the AIs like Alexa. So you guys can check that out and ask Alexa to play whichever one played the most recent of Walk of Truth Radio Network or most recent of God to Get Through His Word. And you can also find us on all the different social media platforms via Twitter, YouTube channels, or any other type of channel. Just check out us, Google it. You can also look through Pastor Jay's hashtag, which he's going to give, and you can find us on anywhere that you can find those hashtags or those different platforms.
Yeah, and you can find me at hashtag DRJCS2 and just put in your search engine, Walk of Truth Radio Network, and a plethora of ways to listen on your favorite platform of choice. We want to thank everybody for listening to our show today. We hope that this has been informational, kind of fun, maybe even kind of scary, but we want to equip you for this time during cuffing season. Actually, Cloak and Cover and Cuffing Season is one of our most played series. So we're doing something a little different this year. We're bringing people in, and we want to have a conversation. Again, if you want to have a conversation, please get in touch with us. Look down in the description box and you'll see that. And we just hope that you have been informed today. I always want you to be encouraged, blessed, and at peace. And always remember to walk in truth. And T?
And please remember to be blessed, motivated, and always inspired to do what the Lord lays on your heart.
All right. See you guys next week.
Hello everyone, this is Tanika Drake, and I am going to share a book with you that I've written called The Gift of Finding God's Love, Guilt and Shame Turned into My Shine. Please check that book out either on Barnes & Noble, or you can find it at Amazon, or any place where you can get that book. Remember, it is not okay for anyone to hurt or harm you. Please check that book out, and happy reading, everyone.